Do you ever have feelings that you're not quite good enough? Or maybe you have feelings that you feel like you're a bit of a fraud, that you don't deserve to be in the job that you're in, for example? Or do you ever have feelings of low self-worth and self-esteem? Feelings like, I'm not beautiful enough, or I'm not very good at this thing, or I'm not very good at anything, or I'm not good enough to do that. I'm not good enough to run a marathon. I'm not good enough to get that job. I'm not good enough to speak in front of people. These kind of feelings, they're really, really common, and a lot more common than you might imagine. Marissa Peer, she's the UK, well, they say she's the UK's leading hypnotherapist and psychologist and psychotherapist. She says this feeling of I am not enough is the biggest disease facing humanity. It's like a worldwide epidemic, everybody feeling like they're not quite good enough. So what can we do about this? Because it can be really debilitating to have these feelings. One of the worst things is that it can really hold us back, Maybe there's a dream that you've got. Maybe there's a job that you want to do that you wish you had. Maybe there's someone you really want to ask out on a date, but you don't feel like good enough for them, Whatever it is whatever it is, it can be really challenging. It can really hold us back to have this inbuilt, deep felt sense of not being enough and not being worthy. So how do we get over this? How do we get to a place where we're confident? How do we get to a place where we actually feel like I am enough? We wake up in the morning and we're like, yes, I am enough, I am beautiful in my own way. I am strong, I am powerful, I can do this, I can get that job. I'm going to ask that person out on a date and they're going to say yes. How do we get to that place? So there's a few things I want to just briefly mention. Is that deep down inside each and every one of us, we are enough. We're human beings. Nobody is born not enough. You come out the womb and you're a beautiful baby, a beautiful child, and you're totally worthy in every single way. And that never leaves you. Everybody is totally worthy in every single way, every human being on this planet. You don't get birds thinking, I am not enough. There's a little cold tit up there that I can see in the woods. That's not thinking I'm not enough, and none of the other birds are either, The trees aren't thinking I'm not enough either. It's us humans that think we're not enough. So it's good to know that belief, it's not true. It's not true for anybody. And know that in yourself, firstly, that you are enough. You are good enough in every single way. And often being enough is just about belief. It's about self-belief. If we really think that we're good enough to run a marathon, then we'll run that marathon and we'll do it, no matter what state our body is in, necessarily. If we don't believe we can run the marathon, then that's going to sap all of our energy and we're never going to make it, And that's the case with everything. If we ask someone out on a date and deep down inside we don't feel like we're enough, they're going to pick up on that, But if we ask them out on a date and you love yourself and you know your own beauty and your own strength, they're going to say yes. So know that it's just a belief, and beliefs aren't necessarily true. In fact, most of the time they're not. And this one, that I am not enough, is absolutely not true in anybody. The second thing to know is that these beliefs or feelings, they come from a young age, Maybe when you were young, you weren't given the care that you needed. You weren't given the love that you needed, or somebody maybe didn't show you the love, didn't show you yourself that you are enough. And that's where these feelings and these beliefs come from. They come from a very young age. And we live in a society where competition is such a huge thing, From school, from a very young age, we're taught to compete with each other and to try and beat the other person in all forms, in sport, in academics, in everything. So this creates a hierarchy of people that are good enough and people that aren't, you know. And none of that's true, and it's not a good way. It's not a positive aspect of our society. So know that as well. Secondly, that these are beliefs that have been driven into us from a young age, and that everybody, I promise you, everyone struggles with feelings of lack of self-belief. You're not alone at all here. You're really not. So know that as well, that these beliefs and these feelings developed at a young age. And the good thing to knowing that is that you can change this. This is my last point. My third point is that you can start to come to a place of self-belief and self-strength. The way we do that, the way I feel that we can do that, is through practicing yoga and meditation every day. And when we meditate every day, you come to see that your beliefs aren't true, that your beliefs are based on thoughts, and the less attention you pay to those thoughts, the less validity and strength it gives them. So if you're not focusing on your thoughts so much, you're not reasserting that belief that I'm not enough. Because that belief, I'm not enough, will probably come as thoughts, you know. You'll look in the mirror and a thought will come, that doesn't look good, or I don't look good, that part of my body isn't nice, I don't like my hair, I don't like whatever, you know. If you're mindful enough in those moments, you can catch those thoughts, you can let them go, you can not listen to them. And the more you're able to do that, the less that they come. And you get to a point where those thoughts just die away. And that means that the belief is not reasserting itself all the time in your mind. So then the belief goes away, and then you realize, actually, I am enough. I am totally beautiful in every single way, as is every other human being. And once you see that light within yourself, once you see that you yourself are enough, you see that everybody else is enough. And it allows you to love unconditionally, which is an enormous thing. Not many people in this world can love unconditionally. So, yeah, I feel that's really some really big points there. Some really big points and something to consider. Hope everybody's doing really, really well. I'll see you on another video soon. Bye.